I'm Suzanne Woods Fisher. A while back, I met with my Revell editor when she was in San Francisco. Our rendezvous spot was the Neiman Marcus department store, and we spent the hour discussing the writing of Amish Peace. Afterwards, I was coming down the escalator past these mannequins dressed up in fancy, expensive dresses, and I was struck by the irony of the moment. Here we were in Neiman Marcus discussing the Amish. And yet it was strangely appropriate, too, because the Amish don't live tucked away in monasteries far from civilization. They live their horse and buggy life right in the midst of a busy, modern, materialistic world. Amish Peace is a book of true stories and examples from old order Amish families about how they've been able to hold on tightly to peace in their everyday life, and how we can try to incorporate some of what they have into our lives without necessarily going Amish. My grandfather was born into a family of old order German Baptist brethren. He was one of 13 children, and I've been exposed to plain living all of my life. I've been interested in the Anabaptist cultures for as long as I can remember, but even with my family background, I still needed to find a way to connect with people who are utterly private. I had some contacts in Pennsylvania, and the next thing I knew, I got on a plane, and from there the Lord seemed to open door after door after door. Through these contacts, I met old order Amish families who were willing to share very private stories with me. Some were very dramatic, such as this 17-year-old woman who had a nephew and 3 nieces in the schoolhouse at Nickel Mines on the day of the shootings. The nephew was sent outside by the gunman. One niece heard the voice of someone, she thinks it was an angel, telling her to get out now. And the other 2 nieces were shot. One survived and one did not. I'll never forget the look on this 17-year-old woman's face as she just sadly repeated, "We just have to keep going on. We have to keep going on." Other stories were less dramatic, but just as profound, like the old order Amish bishop who voted in the presidential election last November and then spent the evening stargazing because Neptune and Venus were aligned. All of America was glued to a television set that night, but this wise man had his eyes on the heavens. When I was researching the Amish, I stayed in Amish homes, I ate at their tables, I washed a lot of dishes, a lot. I fed a baby cow in an Amish barn. I really grew to have such a great respect for these intelligent, hardworking, faithful people. It's easy to get distracted by the buggies and the bonnets and the beards, but there's so much more to the Amish than we may see on the surface. Writing Amish Peace gave me this wonderful foundation of understanding how the Amish take their faith and incorporate it into their everyday life. I have 3 novels coming out for Revell about the Amish starting in January with The Choice. I wanted to take true stories that I saw in their lives and weave them into the novels just to show how genuine these people are, how intelligent they are, how they are struggling with living in the world and not of it. The Choice is a story about a young woman named Carrie Weaver who is on the fence about remaining in the Amish community. Actually, Carrie's just about over the fence. Her boyfriend, Solomon Reel, has an offer to pitch with the Lancaster Barnstormers. Solomon plans to leave and he wants Carrie by his side. Carrie's father, though, is killed in an accident and she can't leave. So here she is suddenly faced with the choice of remaining with the Amish, of leaving, of another young man who wants to marry her, as well as what does her faith mean to her. You know, there's one thing about the Amish that has stayed with me more than anything else, and that is their intentional living. When confronted with something new, they look at it carefully and try to figure out, is this going to bring me closer to God or further apart? Is this drawing my family together or splintering us? Is this helping my community be more unified, or does it scatter us? And if the answer is that it divides people, they reject it. I think that simple phrase, "Where will a choice lead you?" is just profound. We all need to think more about that. You know, writing about the Amish has changed me. Writing about it, researching about it, even the editing process, it's just been a tremendous journey for me. I feel as if they have shown me a way to incorporate peace into my everyday life in a better way every day.